So there's just a few questions. So we've got first one, how's the season going so far and what have been the biggest challenges so far this season?
Well, the season's been quite difficult. I think after winning the championship in 2020 and going second in 2019, you want to continue that trend. And last year was definitely a blip in the results that we were expecting, and we're hoping to bounce back this year and put things right. But I feel like it's been the struggles continued. Although we're a lot closer to the front now, and it's showing signs of improvement. It's still difficult, and we haven't given up. We're still making changes. We're waiting some parts to come between the last round and Thruxton. Right. Whether that helps or not, we don't know. It's sort of small changes, but everything's worth pursuing. And the most difficult thing this year has been winning. It hasn't come, and that's been the challenge. Brilliant.
That ties us on to the next question. So you have a short break until the next race at Thruxton. When does the preparation really start, though?
Preparation never really stops. No. It's more of a lifestyle. I compare to other sports people, like a boxer or something. They'll have a date and they train right up to it. And, they reach their maximum performance right before the date. Where, I've been racing motorbikes since 1988. It's got to be a lifestyle, something. There's not a fixed date that I kind of aim to. I've got to maintain a level of fitness and preparation throughout the whole year. And I'm sure I have a bit of take the foot off the gas a little bit during the off season, but even in the off season, I'm still really active. I ride motocross to keep fit, and I don't drink a great deal amount of beer or anything like that. So it's just keeping that level of performance at a constant, so then it's not such a big effort to try and get it back again.
Yeah. What are the key areas of the bike you've been developing this season?
I think people have to understand that the British Championship regulations dictate a lot of what we can and can't do. So for me, I've been struggling to find the grip to be competitive with their rival teams and riders. So we've gained more power, but at what cost? When grip has already been an issue, we've not only not helped the grip, we've actually made it worse, by adding more power. So it's not as easy as, just add more power, that fixes everything. We actually need to diagnose it a bit further and understand how to actually generate more grip, and perhaps even sacrifice a bit of power for more user-friendly, kind of wind and throttle on areas of the acceleration, as opposed to just the peak figure. Yeah. So that's where the focus is at the moment, is trying to improve the grip.
Brilliant. And do you own any road motorcycles currently? If so, what are they?
Yeah, I've got a few bikes at home in Australia.
Yeah.
I've recently just sold. I had a V4, so Ducati. So I've recently just sold that. But I've got some other bikes, but
all back home.
All back home in Oz.
If there was one motorcycle you once owned in your past that you could have back, which would it be? Is there any that you regret selling?
Well, it wasn't mine to sell, but I have a fond memory of how the 2019 Ducati performed. It was the new release of the bike, and between me and Scott Redding and Tommy Bribel and the Ducatis, we blitzed the field, and the bike just worked from the offset really well. And it's just, everything changes, everything moves on. Every year teams evolve and bikes change, and the level changes as well. But that year was particularly successful. Even though I only just missed out on the championship, everything else about the year was very memorable, and it was a good experience. But a couple of bikes that I have sold. In 2000, I raced a 125 in the Grand Prix Series 125s class in Australia. Right. And at the end of that year, I had to sell the bike to then buy the next bike, right. And then that year, sold the next bike, blah, blah, blah. But it was kind of like the last of the two-stroke bikes that I ever raced, and it's just it's a proper race bike, So I've got a lot of memories from actually just starting out in racing, and getting the road racing ball rolling, so to speak. And that all sort of stemmed from that bike. So it would be nice to have that back again. But that's life. There's lots of things we can't always have.
Brilliant. Where is your favourite riding destination? So where?
Well, separate from the track, I think there's some fantastic tracks in the UK. Obviously, Cadwell, everyone loves for the jump and things like that. And I certainly like Thruxton and Brands Hatch and stuff. So that's all the racing orientated things. And then you've got like Japan, when I've raced at Suzuka in Japan. That's unreal circuit. I like going there. There's tracks in Australia like Phillip Island, Eastern Creek are very fond, but I haven't really got a set destination to go to. But I've found in recent times that I try and include my wife on some of our rides, and any of the sports bike riding is uncomfortable, because it's not very practical for two up, and you can't go for extended lengths of time or distance because it's just uncomfortable. So we've recently been riding sort of adventure style bikes, and in Australia there's a lot of off-road. It depends how much you want to explore. There's certainly sealed roads if you want to stay on the tarmac, but there's also a huge variety of options to do. Gravel roads, right through to like difficult terrain like enduro type stuff. And I found with the seating position of dual purpose adventure bikes means that we can both kind of be on the bike for an extended period of time, and she's incorporated in my fun of riding, and then we can both enjoy it. So it's purely because of the road, the seating position, and what you get to see during your travel. So it's not so much a destination, but
how you do it,
the process of how you get there.
Yeah, brilliant. What is your best riding memory? So it can include racing.
I think every memory on a bike is pretty good. I think that's why it's once you're in bikes, you're in it for life, sort of thing. But I'd have to say, if I had to sort of pinpoint one memory that sort of sticks out above the others, is in 2004 I got a wild card to race Phillip Island in the World Supersport.
Right. Yeah.
And I went and won the event. Won the race, and no one's ever done it before or since as a wild card as their first World Championship race, and gone on and won the race. So it was a huge achievement. It demonstrated what potential I had, and it was just a real kind of exceptional thing to achieve in a racing career. So it's what stands out quite highly.
Brilliant. And then we've got some quick fire questions. So if you could pick one road bike, what would you have?
I think the Desert X at the moment. I think it kind of covers the bases of what I've just explained earlier. So
that would be good. Dream off-road bike, so purely off-road bike.
I think a lot of my training and stuff is revolves around motocross. So I do a lot of motocross riding and some general off-road enduro stuff, but mostly it's motocross. So a lot of the stuff that I find I'm most attracted to is like the sort of pivotal years of my youth growing up, where I was watching motocross events and reading magazines, or even just looking at the pictures mostly when you're a kid, and just studying the pictures. And it was all kind of like late 80s, early 90s motocross stuff, and particularly the main class, the 500 Grand Prix class. So I've actually got a couple of CR 500s and KX 500s, so they're kind of like cherished possessions, because they're becoming more valuable, and it was a good period to grow up in.
Brilliant. Favourite year of racing in your whole career?
Wow, that's a challenge. Favourite
year? A few good ones though.
I have had a few good ones. I think obviously the championship years stand out. I think 2015 was particularly a good year. I had a great little crew of people. We were all really friendly, and the racing results only help that. When you're winning, it's easy to have excitement and relaxed atmosphere in the garage. When things are tough, is when it gets pressured. But you know, again, 2017 was a fun year. We were kind of considered the outsiders. It was a private team. It wasn't expected to do a lot. In fact, at the start of the season, it was sort of almost criticised for not being the right decision, and it wouldn't ever bring success, and ended up second in the championship. So, I mean, I could go through my whole career and sort of pinpoint specific teams and years and why they sort of stood out. And but I think you know, the early years of racing were good too. You know, like it was hard because it was like son and dad racing. You know what I mean? Although the whole family were making sacrifices to do it, but that's sort of the feeling that it was. It was just, you know, Dad and I would be travelling all over Australia in the early days to go racing, and when I was back in the start with motocross days, it was even my brother and my sister at times, you know. So it was a real family effort, you know, and we all went racing together, and you know, that's hugely important to how I've become in racing and why I'm still doing it today.
Who's been your biggest rival in your whole career?
I've had a list of rivals, but I think sort of the longest running rival is Shane Byrne. You know, for years, you know, whichever team I was on, whichever, you know, brand I was representing, he was the repeat offender, as the person I had to beat, or you know, the person sort of setting the standard in the British Championship, and so he was sort of like the longest running rival as well, and it was sort of like probably the hardest rival as well, because he's so with his experience, but also his personality, his grit and determination and character and riding skill made it an incredibly difficult person to beat.
And then lastly, your favourite way to celebrate a win?
I'm not really one to sort of say gloat too much, you know. I mean, I certainly enjoy the sensation of winning, but I don't really extend myself and do anything sort of too flamboyant, you know what I mean. I'm one of those people that after I finish riding, I'm happy just to sort of disappear into the shadows. I don't really like the focus and the hype and the media and all the attention, as though it comes with it. I don't tend to kind of make massive celebrations, because I try to dumb down the attention so much. I'd rather just sort of like sneak off and keep it quiet and enjoy myself in my private time.
Yeah, and keep ready for the next one.
But, hopefully there's some more celebrations to come.
Yeah, brilliant. Excellent.
Thank you.
Everything.